Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So today I'm going to be reviewing another sci-fi movie, which I haven't done in a good while actually. So yeah, it's going to be one of these low budget features, of course, something vintage, and yes, it was released quite some time ago. So yeah, a blast from the past. So the title I'm going to be reviewing is the film called Spaceman. And the thing is that this film also went under the title of Assignment Outer Space. So, okay, technically I've already covered this movie already a long while ago. So, for this video, I'll be discussing a different version of this, I guess you can say, because the version I'm going to be talking about it came from this 100 movie pack right here, folks, of this sci-fi collection here, which I'll get to more in a bit, I guess you can say. So I just want to talk about something that's pretty old, of course. The sci-fi genre I've spoken about before, just off and on kind of thing here, I guess. So anyway, obviously, like always, let's get into the plot, shall we? So here we go. So in this movie, we get to see that it follows these this mission in the 22nd century aboard on this orbiting space station. The mission itself pretty much involves this risky effort by its crew to pretty much redirect this malfunctioning spaceship that threatens to destroy Earth. So yes, of course, something needs to be done about this. This crew is on their mission to do this kind of a thing and just pretty much fix everything, do their best, make sure everybody stays safe, obviously. So yeah, there is this individual that reports on this launch aboard the spaceship, and of course there'll be people joining this crew for the spaceship kind of a thing. And the character Peter Sun is pretty much assigned to write a story about what's going on and whatnot on this kind of a thing, of course. So yeah, things can get pretty crazy as you might expect when it comes to this kind of a thing, of course. So yeah, that's the general story when it comes to this. So obviously, this is one of these type of movies that's pretty wild. This is an Italian movie, by the way, an Italian sci-fi movie, but it was just dubbed over in English. And the dubbing, it's okay, I guess. The dubbing's pretty alright. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know this is the English version I'm reviewing, folks. Just so you know. I mean, granted, the previous version I reviewed was also the English version as well. Just throwing it out there. But anyway, for this movie, of course, it's taking place something about outer space, as you might expect, obviously. And obviously, there's going to be something wild and crazy and whatnot. And of course, that's what's going to happen here. But anyway, like I was saying before, the version I'm talking about here is this one, obviously. It's, yeah, I know movies and whatnot. It does contain a bunch of movies together, folks. So, yeah, this is the set I'm talking about. Still have it, of course, and I thought I'd just talk about it because it gives me an excuse to talk about the sci-fi genre. Of course, it's a pretty big pack, and you see the names of titles right behind here, folks. Here's the cover. I like the cover actually. The cover's actually quite nice. So, yeah, I thought the cover's quite good here. 24 discs altogether, and there's quite a few to go through. So, yeah, there's still a few titles I haven't seen yet, but this set was released by this company here, which of course I mentioned before, and it was definitely an industry kind of a thing because they're pretty well known. This company did not make the movie, mind you. It released these kinds of packages. It's an independent studio for Blu-ray, DVD, and digital distribution with direct sales and the pipelines to all primary retail in person and online, of course. So you can find some of their stuff online if you want, or just maybe in places like maybe you might find some of this stuff maybe at retail stores, obviously, maybe at Best Buy, or if you get them used at Rasputin, of course. But point being, you can find this kind of this package like this at the retail stores is what I'm getting at, folks. Yeah, over 30,000 retail stores, by the way. So they're making pretty good business, actually. And that's not even including the online stuff. So there you go. They have an expensive library. So just thought I'm use this as a reason to talk about this again from this version. But of course, I would like to get these multi packs because I like to talk about these old rare movies. It's really low budget and obscured, but it seems to be my cup of tea anyway. Even though I'm not really the biggest fan of the sci-fi genre as a whole, but I do like old movies anyway. So especially if they're low budget and something from long ago. So I guess you can say, in other words, I'm kind of using this as an excuse to talk about something uh, that's quite old. I guess you can say, in other words, which is fine, I believe, because I like these vintage type sci-fi movies or whatever else you can think of from whatever genre. Anyway, as for the movie itself, again, I can't stress this enough. This is the English dub version. This is not the original cut of the movie. This was originally an Italian movie, so I just thought I'd let you know. So, yeah, at least this version, to my knowledge, this version, the English dubbed version, is now in public domain. Like for the time being, unless they issue the copyright later on, which did happen before. Some of these older titles would remain in public domain until sometime later somebody just reissues the copyright, which happens quite some time, I guess you can say, folks, which is fine, I suppose, if it happens. But anyway, the movie itself, like I was saying, isn't too bad, I suppose. This one was definitely has it's sort of a sense of adventure. And one, it definitely has that vintage charm of these old sci-fi movies I tend to have. It definitely has that feel to it. I guess is a good thing, at least as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Because yeah, this may seem kind of like an odd sci-fi movie, which in some ways I guess it kind of is, which I don't mind really, like at all. But yeah, this film was intended for an American English market anyway from the start. Come to think about it. So yes, this is definitely one of those types of movies where it was supposed to have a wide release. It was not just supposed to be released in just one specific area of the world. So the director was had definitely had in mind to release it in other places, not just in Italy either, really. So that's something, I guess you would say. So there's that. The people who were behind this film, you can definitely tell they were really definitely into this sci-fi genre. By which I mean that they're trying to make it have that feel of space exploration to some extent, I suppose. But there's that, obviously. And yeah, this is definitely something I guess you can say that it's enjoyable in its own little way. The script writers for this film definitely were determined to convey a sense of science fiction throughout the entire thing, and at least the way it was popular at the time, I guess you can say, in a fairly realistic manner. So it may not come off as over the top of some of the other sci-fi movies I've seen from the same genre. But yeah, it is definitely one of those types of movies. I can say that it's probably yeah, it's a low budget adventure, but it did enjoy it for what it's worth. And yes, of course, the budget itself is going to show, especially in today's standards. The special effects may not be up as high as it is today. Like whether you're watching like one of the Star Trek movies or Star Wars or whatever, it may not be up high as there, but it's still enjoyable too in its own little way. So of course, it's going to require a sense of imagination, and at least that's how I took it anyway. But yeah, it has its own little thing going on here, folks. And yeah, it may not be super stylish like up to date movies, like when it comes to the sci-fi genre, like I was saying before, or around the time like Planet of the Apes or anything like that. It's not definitely not like that either, really. But still, I can say it doesn't have its own style. I guess you can say its own charm, which in a lot of ways is not too bad, really, in its own little way. Of course, I was fine with it. Yeah, it's definitely one of these crazy movies that's set in outer space, and I just thought I'd cover this again because it's a wild little adventure. Obviously, it's definitely one of these movies that I can see that the director really didn't have like hardly any money at all. So the director was basically just trying to make do with what he had. Same thing with the entire crew itself. The entire crew was just trying to make do with whatever props they had in mind. That alone is definitely is worth the effort. Of course, still more effort than some of the other movies I've seen. So there's that. This it still had more effort than some of the other movies I've seen over the years. So yeah, I guess that counts for something, I suppose. Definitely. So yeah. Anyway, I know some people might want to dismiss this movie because of the fact that it's low budget or whatever. It's even if it's not that, it's too old or whatever. But it's just unfortunate. A lot of people just want to dismiss this kind of thing just because of that. Just give it a shot. If you like these types of movies, if sci-fi is your cup of tea, then I would definitely say give it a shot because of the fact that it's cool in its own way. I didn't mind it really. I thought it was pretty wild in its own little way. Yeah, things definitely have changed over the years from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, for better or worse. Yes, that did happen, and yeah, that goes along with movies, movie going audiences. So again, for better for worse, that did happen. It will continue to happen. But yeah, this is definitely one of these movies that was made during a specific time period, and yes, it does have that feel to it. And yeah, of course, it kind of sucks because of that, I suppose. But in some ways, maybe it's for the better. Maybe you can cherish these type of movies a bit more because of that. It's just one thing of a silver lining here. That's all I'm saying, folks. Nevertheless, I would recommend getting a copy of this movie because if you're like we're saying, if you're definitely one of these sci-fi junkies and and just like to watch a lot of these old sci-fi movies, or even if they're new, I guess in other words, it's just something you could watch regardless. I guess you can say if you're a fan of this kind of thing. Sure, why not? By all means, go for it. So anyway, of course, I'll give it an overall rating, or at least this version of it, of a 7.0 out of 10. It gets a 7.0 out of 10 from me. So of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah, later.